the mystery of the Amber Room remains the greatest unsolved art heist in human history. A vanishing act that involves 6 tons of solid, glowing fossilized resin, intricate gold leaf, and the chaos of the most destructive war the world has ever known. Yet, despite 80 years of investigation, the truth behind the disappearance of the 8th wonder of the world continues to slip through the fingers of historians and treasure hunters alike. It began in the early 18th century when King Frederick I of Prussia commissioned the finest craftsmen in Europe to create a chamber unlike any other, utilizing the rare gold of the north to line walls with panels of translucent amber that radiated a celestial warmth when struck by candlelight. A masterpiece so magnificent that it was eventually gifted to Peter the Great of Russia to seal a strategic alliance between the two powers. For over 2 centuries, the Amber Room sat as the crowning jewel of the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, a sprawling 180-square-foot testament to royal opulence that left visitors breathless. But the fragility of the amber, essentially ancient tree resin, meant that by the time the shadows of World War II fell over Europe, the room was already a delicate relic of a bygone era. When the German army launched Operation Barbarossa in 1941, the Soviet curators realized with horror that their treasure was a sitting duck, and though they tried to dismantle the brittle panels, the amber began to crumble under the slightest pressure, leading to a desperate attempt to hide the room behind layers of wallpaper and gauze, a ruse that failed almost instantly when Nazi art experts identified the glowing treasure behind the paper. Within a mere 36 hours, the German soldiers had dismantled the entire room with crowbars and hammers, packing the 8th wonder of the world into 27 massive crates and shipping it back to Königsberg, the ancestral home of the Prussian kings, where it was reassembled in the local Castle Museum under the obsessive care of Dr. Alfred Rohde.
From 1941 to 1944, the room was a symbol of Nazi victory. But as the tide of the war turned and British bombers began raining fire on Königsberg, the fate of the 27 crates entered a forensic fog that has never lifted. While official history often claims the room was destroyed in the 1944 firebombing or the final Soviet assault in 1945, the forensic evidence tells a much more complicated story because amber has a specific chemical signature when it burns. And when the Red Army eventually excavated the ruins of the castle,
they found fragments of the Italian stone mosaics, but almost no evidence of the 6 tons of burned amber residue that should have been present if the room had truly perished in the flames. This discrepancy suggests a deliberate act of concealment, leading many to believe that Dr. Rohde and his team moved the crates into the deep, labyrinthine cellars of the city, or perhaps loaded them onto a ship during the massive sea evacuation known as Operation Hannibal. One of the most enduring theories points to the Wilhelm Gustloff, a massive transport ship that was torpedoed by a Soviet submarine in January 1945, carrying thousands of refugees and, some suspect, the stolen treasure into the icy depths of the Baltic Sea, where it remains a silent, steel-encased ghost. Others argue for the bunker logic, pointing to the vast underground networks in Poland, such as the Mamerki bunkers, where the Nazi governor, Erich Koch, hinted the treasure was hidden before he took the secret to his grave in 1986. The mystery took a stunning turn in 1997 when a single original piece of the room, a Florentine mosaic representing touch and smell, suddenly surfaced in Germany, having been hidden in an officer's attic for half a century, proving that the room had not been destroyed as a single unit, but had been fragmented and looted by individuals in the final days of the collapse. As of April 2026, the search has reached a fever pitch following the August 2025 discovery by Jan Delengowski and his team in the Mamerki commune of northern Poland, where ground-penetrating radar identified a significant, large, distinct anomaly beneath a former SS military training ground. This 2026 forensic audit suggests that we are not looking for a tragedy of ash, but a heist of silence, where the truth has been protected by the Amber Curse, a string of mysterious deaths involving those who came too close to the truth, including Dr. Rodi himself and the treasure hunter Georg Stein. The Amber Room is not just a collection of gold and stone, it is a missing piece of the human narrative, a phantom that exists in the gap between what we know happened and what we hope to find. And as you watch these empty palace walls today, you have to ask yourself if 6 tons of history can truly stay buried forever. Every year, millions of dollars are spent searching for the 27 crates, and every year the silence of the Baltic floor and the Polish earth grows deeper. But as our 2026 technology peels back the layers of the past, the 8th wonder of the world feels closer than it has in 80 years. If you believe the room still exists, if you believe that the gold and amber are waiting in a dark chamber for a light to strike them once again, then you are part of the archive that refuses to let the truth vanish. What do you think happened when the crates left the palace? Did they sink into the ocean, burn in the fire, or are they sitting beneath a forest in Poland right now, protected by a silence that was never meant to be broken? Join our community, share your theory below, and help us ensure that the greatest mystery of the 20th century does not remain a ghost. Because in the Vanished Mysteries Archive, we know that nothing stays hidden forever if someone is willing to look. We have searched the ruins of Königsberg, modeled the drift of the Baltic currents, and scanned the bunkers of the SS, and each step brings us closer to the moment when the 27 crates are finally opened and the amber light shines on a new world. The story of the Amber Room is a reminder that even the most beautiful things can be swallowed by the darkness of man. But it is also a testament to our enduring obsession with the missing, the lost, and the found. Stay tuned as we follow the 2026 excavation results, and remember that every piece of evidence is a step toward solving the enigma of the 8th wonder. So don't let this mystery end here. Hit follow and subscribe to our investigation, and tell us, where would you hide 6 tons of gold if the world was ending around you? The answer might be the key to the most valuable room on Earth. This concludes our audit of the Amber Room, but the investigation in the field continues every day, fueled by the hope that one day the ghost will become a reality once more. We are the guardians of the vanished, the chroniclers of the lost, and we will not stop until the final crate is found and the Amber Room is finally home. What happened to the Amber Room is a challenge to our collective intelligence and our refusal to accept that something so massive could simply disappear without a trace. And as we look toward the future, we look toward the light that hasn't been seen since 1945. This is the Vanished Mysteries Archive, and we are searching for the truth.